Hello, Gemini. This is Tarot by Tess, coming to you with your 17 reading. Your February reading wasn't that great, okay? But it looks like things are looking up for the month of March. And y'all know y'all weren't happy with last month's. I saw your comments. And some people were saying you were too sensitive. And it was just a bad reading. Didn't seem like it was a good month for you. I do have some of the same cards from your last reading, but maybe they've changed meaning this time. There's no particular spread. I basically just pulled you 4 cards. Then I got 4 clarifiers and then 4 romantic clarifiers because it looks like it's a romance reading. So here's your reading, aka your romance. The first one you got, I'm thinking this is going to be you, even though you're an air sign, okay? This is the 9 of Pentacles upright. And she is this independent woman. You know, she doesn't need anybody, okay? She has her own money. She's really grateful. She's not disappointed with her expectations. She hasn't failed. She's succeeded. She's celebrating her accomplishments. She's enjoying the good life. She doesn't have financial setbacks, probably because she's grateful. This is just a culmination of something. Like, you're at 9, and if you were at the 10 of Pentacles, well, then you would be set for life, okay? 10 of Pentacles is the one where you have, like, the family and the relationship and all that, the one that goes long distance. But right now, it looks like you're single, okay? And you're showing restraint and poise and grace. You're very diplomatic. You're not working too much. Even though you have your wealth, you're able to enjoy it, okay? You're not sacrificing your love for work anymore. If you were, you're going to be with your family or be with people who, like friends, somebody who's, brings you happiness. Okay. And you can see, I mean, she's even talking to the birds. So think of Snow White. That's what I think of. Just that kind of a character. Very pure-hearted. Okay. To clarify the 9 of Pentacles, we got Ace of Swords in reverse. And I think this is where, like, the issue's coming in, okay? This talks about, like, an upcoming disaster that may have been avoided, or an upcoming disaster that you cannot avoid, or let me think, you just can't, or there's just no disaster at all now. So something that you did being grateful, something you avoided a disaster. And it could have been what February was all about. You're no longer infatuated with anybody, okay? Because that was the case, it seemed, last month, at least for the majority. It could have been that somebody was unfaithful and you just weren't seeing it. You could have been exploited. Somebody didn't have any feelings for you. And you were just, your willpower had faded, you're confused, and the relationship was in danger. And from what I can tell, you're independent now, okay? So you're grateful to be out of that relationship. You're taking care of your own. You're very fruitful because you have all these grapes, okay? And you're just in harmony with the world. You're on the right path because you're even talking to the birds, okay? And it looks like there's even a snail at the very bottom. So maybe it took you a long time to get here. February just kind of was the culmination of it, and that's the culmination card. And this is kind of explaining what happened, okay? It was just like a lose-lose situation, and you kind of had to make a decision to get out. See, again, we have like a new beginning, okay? I mean, this is ending, this is new beginning. I think you're waiting to hear from someone, or perhaps you want a new beginning. This also means conception, multiplication, childbirth. I think you have this card as well. So you may be getting pregnant. Your wish would be, you're independent, but you're only at 9 of Pentacles. You want 10 of Pentacles, which represents family and that long-term relationship. That's what you're wanting. And you may have an excessive love for someone still, and it may be that person, but it's not an infatuation. And again, I don't think you're completely sure of your feelings, but whatever you do, you're going to be fruitful. You have a lot of fruitfulness in here. And you're taking action, or you took action. Your relationship suffered, and you just really didn't have the willpower to overcome it, and I think you got out because you're independent. Next we come to the Ten of Cups. And this reminds me a lot of the Ten of Pentacles, okay? So you didn't get the Ten of Pentacles so far, but you're getting the Ten of Cups. And this is, to me, aside from the Three of Cups and the Nine of Cups, this is the best relationship card you can get. I mean, this is 10. This is like the cycle's completed. You were at 9. You used to be at 1. And even that was in reverse, so it was almost like you were at 0 from scratch. So you had to start from scratch. You had a lot of changes just in the last little bit. And now you got the Ten of Cups. This is what you want. And I think this is what you're going to get. It just hasn't happened yet. But this is exactly what you want. You want the kids, you want the family, you want complete happiness. Okay? It's just taking you a really, really long time, represented by this snail, to get to where you're grateful and independent, okay? And just at harmony with yourself and others. So with Ten of Cups, this is marriage. I think that's what you're wanting. I think it's going to end up that way too, okay? Your work and life are in balance. Here, you really worked hard on that, okay? You're in balance, yeah, with everything. If you're dating, you're going to have really good luck. You're going to have somebody who has similar values to you. And you're being true to yourself, okay? I think that's a big change from the last time. And I love it whenever I get to see a reading that doesn't continue from the previous month, okay? So whatever you did, kudos to you. It worked out really well for you. And yeah, I mean, you're not arrogant at all. You're very grateful. This represents, well, this would be arrogant. This is not arrogant. And you're overall content, but you still want this. Or you recently got this. So, yay. To clarify it, we got justice. So you feel like to have this would be justice for you. Or you feel like justice has come around to you because you did get that. You still be getting to know yourself a little bit more. Okay, but everything is balanced. Like we've been talking about, we have like 3 balance cards here. Yay. You're being objective now. There's no more of that fantasy or obsession type of talk anymore. You're being very logical and you've been victorious, or you will be. You're brutally honest with yourself. You're seeking real love, somebody with logic. And your advancement is or will come from understanding this past, this Ace of Swords in reverse. Because you realize I'm not able to change the events. I can't do that. And so you've just kind of become peaceful and grateful. And everything is or will be harmonious really soon. And this is Libra. So I just think air sign. So this could be representing you as well. You feel like you've got justice. And you've accepted responsibility for something. And you realize, there's things that are, transitory obstacles or transitory blessings. And there's things that are everlasting. And you realize which is which. And so you're just grateful for the things that are here now. And you're working on the things that will go the distance. Next, you got the Empress in reverse. And this was in your reading last time. And it made me think that there's some of you out there who have been trying to deceive somebody with a pregnancy. This talks about infertility, especially after a breakup, and not being fulfilled, not having a harvest, not being abundant or fertile. So I think maybe you're coming up with something great, and then there's going to be a little bit of a downturn, but it's not that bad. It just says the matters are unraveling, the truth is coming out. Maybe being indecisive about something. And we have a lack of a marriage. So maybe you really, really want this Ten of Cups. But it doesn't seem like you want it with a particular person just yet. And you're getting a little down because you don't see it yet. This person isn't thinking about you anymore. And one or both of you are just very sad. You're not getting the marriage or the commitment you want. Maybe you used to have it, but you don't now. But it says, you're going to rejoice in public eventually, okay? Even though you're indecisive, it's because the truth came out about something and you just don't know what to do. There's been some arguments. You're trying to work to make things better. You're trying to aim for this, but it's not happening right now or in the near future. You're not talking, and you feel like you've lost some personal power, and there's no meaning in your life. Now, with this in reverse, it could say, after all this, I don't see that. I mean, this could be for a few people. It could be an unwanted baby. I'm not really seeing that. Like we have lots of fruitfulness, balance, wanting this happy, content relationship that even includes some kids, like the ideal contentment and perfection. But so I'm thinking this is you're not pregnant. Like you want that, but you just don't have it. At least not yet. To clarify that, I got the Ace of Wands. This is a very sexual card. I mean, this stick is usually very phallic, and well, I can show you because you got another card. It's very phallic. You can see the head of the dick. So you got it upright here, and that's clarifying the Empress in reverse. Okay. Let me think. Ace of Wands upright. You have it upright, and then in a minute you're going to have it in reverse. Okay. But this upright is clarifying the Empress in reverse. So I just want you to know that. I think I'm drawing a blank here for a second. Ace of Wands. And it's upright. Okay. So this talks about a new idea or a new approach, good luck, income, and then this talks about fertility. So if you're wanting a kid, here it's saying, you got this card before. Yeah, you did. You got like 3 or 4 of these cards. Here, you're not pregnant, and then here you are. Okay, so I'm going to have to backpedal a little. There's probably a few of you out there who may still be saying you're pregnant and you're not because you want that relationship so bad. I don't see that for everyone. I think maybe you've been infertile and then you get pregnant. Okay, because Ace of Wands can mean fertility. I thought that's what it meant, but I didn't want to say it until I made sure I got everything. But there's just a mutual attraction, a connection with your partner. You could be getting a new phase, a new home, just a family. Family is starting. You're making your origins, your roots. And so to go for it and tackle it. But be true to your beliefs. Be optimistic and believe in yourself. And then, that's talking about the infertility, so it just has some hope, okay? Then it comes to the Ace of Wands in reverse. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay? So for some of you out there, maybe you weren't pregnant, you were saying you were pregnant, and then it's found out that you really aren't pregnant. For other groups of you, it could be you're trying to get pregnant, you get pregnant, there's a miscarriage. Or it could just talk about this cycle, how you really want to get pregnant, but you're just not yet. Maybe you did get married, okay, and you guys really want kids, it's just not happening, or you're suffering some miscarriages. But let's talk about Ace of Wands in reverse. If you're really, 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 really wishing for a baby, you're wishing for it too much, and that could lead to crushed plans. Like your hopes are too high. And so the more you think about it, the more it's not happening. Okay, that's what this is talking about. Kind of like, you know how you watch an egg boil and it doesn't boil for like 20 minutes when it should be that it starts boiling, you know? So it could be there's some kind of emotional or sexual repression, but it's temporary. So you don't really feel connected to your partner because you're not getting pregnant. Maybe, you know, you both want kids and there's just some kind of disconnection between you because it's not happening. Or you're divided a little bit because there was a miscarriage. This also talks about perishing, so there could be like a death of a baby. And this says you can get what you want, okay? But it's like the thorns on the rose. You're going to get that rose, but there just be some thorns, some obstacles that you have to overcome first, okay? And then the card to clarify that is Temperance in reverse, which is imbalance. You're just too hasty. Something is an excess. So if your hormones aren't balanced, that can be very hard to make you get pregnant, okay? And if you are fighting with a lover over something, this talks about you need to just have a big blowout so you can clear the air and then set up some new rules on how to act. And just express yourself clearly and don't do anything to excess. Like this cycle, could be your menstrual cycle, is out of balance. It's kind of halted right now. And I can see that with the Empress too. And the Ace of Wands in reverse. Let's see. Having 2 aces in reverse. Well, I mean, yeah, I do see a little bit of what we had before because you have so many of the same cards. Maybe you really want to be happy, independent. And some of you actually are, okay? But the relationship that you were in or you are in is in danger. And you really want that happiness, that marriage. You want justice. You want everything to be balanced. And you could have feigned a pregnancy or possibly feigned a pregnancy. And then it turns out you weren't. Or you thought you were pregnant and then you turned out not to be because there's some kind of imbalance. And this does talk about excessive love or hate, but I don't see any hate going on here. And then I pulled some Romance Angel Oracle cards. This is mostly about pregnancies from what I'm seeing. I mean, it could be just like fruitfulness in general, but I don't see money going on here. Like, it seems like your money and everything's fine. It could just be a relationship. Your relationship is not producing like you want it to. Or it's not coming at all. You don't have one, maybe. So this is definitely about children. I don't know why. To clarify, the Nine of Pentacles, Ace of Swords in reverse. We have children in reverse. Okay, so your love life is being affected by children, by the lack of children, or somebody doesn't want children. And we did talk about this could be an unwanted pregnancy. And maybe you were pregnant and you had an abortion. And it's really just thrown you for a loop and imbalanced emotionally. Because you don't have to have kids to have a happy relationship that goes the distance. But yeah, somebody doesn't have children or doesn't want children, and it's affecting your love life. I don't know if that's you or the partner. Then next, as far as the Ten of Cups and Justice, we got finances and career are affecting your love life. Or they're just a factor. And it seems like you're doing very well monetarily, okay? And you're not overworking. Or if you realize you were and you didn't have that imbalance, you got it in balance really quickly. You just made the decision. Then for the Empress in reverse and the Ace of Wands, we have passion, okay? So you have to allow your heart and your soul to sing with joy. Like, you have to be open to passion. And how that would go with the Empress in reverse. Well, Empress is about love, as well as in reverse, it's about infertility. So in reverse, you're not being very sensual lovers. You're not married or have this commitment. Here you need to be passionate, be that sensual lover again, so you feel like you're married if it feels like you're not, and you are. Because if you're passionate, that's going to open up the dialogue, bring the meaning in your life. You'll get your power back. And then clarifying the Ace of Wands in reverse and Temperance in reverse. We got wedding. Okay, so there's a marriage involved somehow. I don't know if somebody out there is involved with someone who is married. And so you're independent and you're being very happy. And then, Ace of Swords comes along and you're confused. Your relationship's in danger. You feel like they're not concentrating on you enough because they're with someone. And you really want this marriage, this long-term relationship with them. Maybe you made some kind of a decision that you feel is just. You acted objectively, you got some brutal honesty, you made a decision, you accepted responsibility and said, I can't change the events, so I'm just going to seek real love. And then with the Empress in reverse, you're wanting marriage commitment, you're not getting it. And then with the Ace of Wands upright, you need to believe in yourself, be optimistic. Like, there's some kind of something new coming in. Maybe it's this, the passion you were supposed to get for that. Maybe you're going to be passionate again, because this is about passion. Like, if you're not pregnant, you're just going to be more optimistic and you're going to keep trying. And you're going to be very passionate, just maybe have a lot of sex and get pregnant. Okay. And then wedding comes for the last part with the Ace of Wands. And Ace of Wands talks about not being pregnant or not seeing anything come to fruition when it's in reverse. Just talking about emotionally repressed. That's temporary, like a fall, some kind of decadence. You could be having joy, but it's just clouded by something having to do with marriage. Maybe you got pregnant and then, your marriage isn't that great. And then you lost a baby. And maybe that caused the marriage to get out of balance when you've lost a baby. Or for some of you, if you found out, maybe you got married when they thought you were pregnant, it turned out you weren't, or you lost it, and everything's unbalanced right now. Let's pull some more clarifiers. Quick clarify what this... hold on, I ain't ready yet. Let's clarify what this Ace of Swords in reverse is about. Six of Wands in reverse as well. Okay, so that says like a defeat. And with Ace of Swords, like you're defeated, exploited. Could be infidelity, okay? And fear, treachery, like there's an enemy, somebody was disloyal. I don't know if that was you or someone else. And there's just some kind of like a bad atmosphere is just draining you. You're maybe having to wait longer than you were expecting to get this relationship. Could have been cheated. And just keep a low profile. Because right now you're just not overcoming. Let me get some clarification on the Ten of Cups upright. The Tower in reverse. Okay. Well, that could be good or it could be bad. It could be that this just swift change is going to happen a little bit in a less severe way, or it's going to happen more slowly. And I don't know if that's going to be good or bad for you. Or at least maybe it already happened. Okay, like the Tower in reverse already happened. To me, a Tower in reverse can represent a relationship that's molding. I think of a piece of fruit in the fridge. It's really old and rotting and molding. You should kind of just, hang on, I'm not ready. You just kind of leave it in the fridge. But it's dead. It's just a matter of time before you have to throw it away. So it's like inevitable change, inevitable ending. And it says you're afraid of change. There's just a slow destruction. You're bottling up your pain because you really want this of Cups. Can we get some more clarification? Ace of Swords upright. Okay, here we had it in reverse. And there was a swift change, or that was part of it. You want the Cups relationship, then you get Ace of Swords upright. So now we can have some good stuff. Alright, so this says the relationship is suffering from something, like if it's a slow destruction. But, even though your willpower is fading earlier, it's like you get some more back. Like you realize maybe this relationship is worth saving. Okay, I don't know how you save rotten fruit, but, I believe in miracles. So the Ace of Swords upright, it says that you're going to have the power to overcome. Here you didn't have an overcoming. And then all of a sudden you do. It's a stark contrast. And then again, with the upright, it talks about infatuation. So maybe you got rid of your infatuation, then it came back. Or you found somebody else. And says, whatever happens, love will be a win-win for you. And didn't used to be. So maybe you did have a change and it was just less severe and less swift with the Tower. And it also talks about a separation, like the separation was not temporary, it was final. And maybe you did find somebody else. You realize, yeah, Tarot by Tess was right. That person wasn't for me. Here I have this happy relationship that's going the distance. We're not confused about our feelings. I'm not. We're infatuated, but it's like the good kind. It talks about good news coming, which, yeah, No Cups is great news. You're going to triumph. And you just have a lot of love. But it doesn't talk about conception, okay? So maybe you're wanting kids, but you're not having kids yet. It also says, it was time to move on. And maybe you had love at first sight. So something ended, but it was good. You're like not even wanting to hear from anybody anymore. That old person, you don't care. And it says, you can prevent any kind of upcoming disasters, okay? You're basically winning at life in that case. And you could be like somebody who enjoys a good debate with your lover. Okay, so we got the Seven of Cups in reverse to clarify that some more, because that is such a stark contrast because we have two of the same cards in different positions. So Seven of Cups in reverse says, you know what's best for you. Okay, you're not confused about that. And that would be clarified by the Ace of Swords. Usually I get Seven of Cups in reverse, so that's good. It just says, you're going to be practical about making it work. And if somebody who doesn't like you, it could just be that they don't know you very well. And you're going to be more logical instead of lustful. And that makes sense because you have justice underneath it. So you're being more logical, you're thinking more with your head, which that's very true for an air sign. I can see that happening. And yeah, you know what's best for you when it's in reverse. Here, come on, when it's upright, you're not really sure what's best for you. You got too many choices going on. And we have fantasy, but here, you're in reality. And you got this card last time. So you kind of got hit with reality, probably because of the reading. You're getting a lot of the cards you had last time, and I never see people get the same cards And then they also just have like this big change as well. So that's good. It can talk about some delusions, so maybe you do have it in reverse. So maybe, you know, it did change, but you just want that relationship so much, you could be deluded about it working. But you're going to try, okay? So, I mean, nothing wrong with trying, you know. You could be deceiving yourself, yeah. You got that. Or others. Oh my goodness. Is this turning into the same reading from February? Are you kidding me? It seemed so good. Let me know what's going on with you guys. Please tell me you didn't change your mind. Please tell me you're getting the original part of this reading before I started clarifying. Because somebody could be deceiving somebody with pregnancy. Or you're just deceiving yourself that this is going to work. Let's pull clarification for justice. 8 of Pentacles upright. Okay. So yeah, you're going to persevere. You're going to take some initiative. It talks about your lover's going to stay by your side. Could possibly be because you're deceiving them about being pregnant. Don't kill me, okay? But you're making changes to increase your satisfaction. And this does talk about working hard. And working hard gives you the best possible chance. But if you work too hard, to me this is overworking. If you work too hard, you're going to be imbalanced and it's going to be hard for you to get pregnant. Okay? And this says, you know, keep doing what you're doing, you'll be successful. I want you to work a little less, okay? And this also can be an engagement, so you can get engaged. Whether or not you're deceiving yourself getting engaged, because the relationship seems like it might be, you know, rusting. That'd be the deception. You're deceiving yourself that it's actually going to work out because you just want that in a cup so bad. And maybe kids too. Okay, let's clarify this Empress in reverse. 5 of Cups upright. Okay, there's something with the 5 of Cups with this. Let me think for a second. 5 of Cups has something to do here. I think it was negative. And it's upright. Okay, so just like it says any illusions you have are kind of an obstacle now. But all's not lost. Everything happens for a reason. If you are married, it's a little bitter, like bittersweet. You have to be honest with yourself, which this says you need brutal honesty, not that you're giving it to yourself. Here you have to be honest with yourself. And then 7 of Cups says, you know, you're deceiving yourself. So, you know, the Empress means marriage and commitment, and this is not marriage and commitment. So I think you're deceiving yourself and thinking that you're going to get married. It may not be about pregnancy at all. But it could be for some people. That's why it's showing up. 5 of Cups. Use the pain that you're having for a catalyst to grow yourself. Because something's lost. And if you're not pregnant, this could mean that you just lost a baby. But you could be deceiving yourself into thinking this relationship is working. This Tower tells me it's not. Or you could have just got rid of a bad relationship. You finally separated, and then, like, you think, oh, this very next person that I met the next day, they're going to be the one, and maybe just deceiving yourself. Maybe you don't think you have a lot of options, so you kind of settled, and now you're like, oh, you know, not being very fruitful here. It does say something remains behind, like, you know, the whole everything happens for a reason. This also could be a hurt or a betrayal. And or a loss. We talked about that. Can we clarify what the loss is? Okay, we got balance. And you have it in reverse earlier. So the loss is your balance. I mean, I've heard of Geminis having different personalities. So that could be it. Maybe you've lost some of your balance. Maybe the loss is you had a short-term pregnancy or a short-term relationship. You wanted to go the distance, but it didn't. Because this means short-term and hasty. And the advice was, you know, kind of just put your foot in the water and test it. Don't go all the way in. I think you went all the way in. Let's clarify this Ace of Wands. 3 of Cups in reverse. So yeah, there could have been some infidelity going on. Thinking about Ace of Wands. Talking about mutual attraction, a new beginning, a family, your origins, connected to your partner, being true to your beliefs. And then we get the 3 of Cups in reverse at that. It says, you know, wasting your life on excess. Again, we have imbalance. It talks about an ending. But it's not like an ending like the Ten of Swords or like the Tower. This is an ending where it's kind of like, yeah, it's over, but you're not sorrowful. You're not celebrating, okay? And it's probably because you're not surprised that it's happening. It talks about overindulgence and you need to aim for balance. Could be exhausted or spending money unwisely. Oh, okay. This could be about, you know, the engagement we talked about and the relationship going the distance and thinking that this marriage, because you want this long distance, this long-term relationship. You want the engagement, maybe you think you're getting it, you don't get it, so you're sorrowful about the loss, and it's leading you to imbalance. You kind of jumped in, you were really sure it was going to happen and it didn't. And then to clarify Ace of Wands, we got Three of Cups in reverse, which this is a pledge or an oath, like an engagement. Here you didn't get it. I think it's funny, it's right next to the engagement card. Okay. So there's a broken engagement, or there just never was one. Let's clarify the Ace of Wands in reverse. We're getting a lot of the same cards. The Emperor talks about being your own boss and taking initiative. Scattering your enemies. Let's see if there's anything else to clarify that, because that doesn't seem to go with it. Page of Cups in reverse. It actually tells me that an offer was not given. Okay, so you were not given this offer of marriage. Yeah, he does talk about tradition. Also tells me somebody was childish. And somebody's feelings turned neutral. And like one lover was taking everything personally. And the other one was just growing tired of it. And like the communication wasn't really good. You guys aren't understanding each other. But especially they're not understanding you. And so that offer of engagement or marriage, it just never came. Or it was taken back. And again, it talks about imbalance, not reflecting on yourself. Can we get some clarification for this Temperance in reverse? Because we've also got the Temperance upright. The Chariot, this is a card. This talks about victory, working hard, having a triumph before a struggle. It also talks about vengeance. We do have some cards about triumphing, but it's forced. This just says be bold. You're going to get your willpower back. You need to will yourself back into balance. You need to love yourself. And if you're in a relationship, you need to seek more freedom. Control your emotions, even if you're afraid you're not good enough. It says you want to meet somebody who will be your hero and save you. Let's get some more clarification on that. So first, you have imbalance. And here, you're trying to make opposites balance. It looks like you're a little bit successful. You might struggle, though. Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So yeah, there's a downturn. This person's not your soulmate. Okay. You're resistant to change, like there's some stagnation. And something's just out of control, it's imbalanced. You need to get to know yourself some more. Your love life's going to be dark. Just don't take any risks or gambles, okay? This can also talk about spending money unwisely. But overall, it's just an unlucky time. All the devils and monsters are rising to the surface. So this does have to do with either not having children or wanting a wedding and not getting it. And there's a little bit about money, like keep your money safe and don't spend it too wisely, be more balanced. Yeah, a lot of this is about balance. Balance your passion. Nothing to excess. Balance your money. Something about not having kids. And then a wedding that doesn't look like it's happening. Can we get some clarification on the wedding upright card? Okay, Four of Swords upright. So that tells me that you need some peace and quiet to restore your balance because you're just mentally exhausted. Yeah, you need a retreat. Okay, you need some solitude. About this wedding idea. Can we clarify the children in reverse? Okay, Five of Swords in reverse. Or Four of Swords to Five. Five of Swords in reverse tells me there's like a bitter victory. Okay. Here you are like kind of preparing for a battle, and here you have the battle, but it's just maybe you didn't win. Yeah, because here You have a victory, but it's bitter. Here, you didn't have a victory, and it's still bitter. It's about children. So you could be very, very bitter about not being pregnant. It says you're open to change. You just have some kind of a past resentment. Or there's a past resentment against you about not having children. But all's not well, okay? You need to lay down your swords and negotiate. But you're mourning. Sorry, guys. You're mourning about not having kids. That's not going to be everybody. Because some people it's about marriage, some people it's about kids, okay? And you just want it to be over. And every time you have a miscarriage or every time you try and it doesn't happen, just that this wound is opened. And you're not accepting it. You're not accepting this defeat every time. And it could be if there's some people out there who did deceive someone into thinking they were pregnant and were going to have children. Could be that somebody else has a resentment about it and they're not letting you live it down. So in that case, the relationship really wouldn't work out. They're just not ever going to let you forget it. Let's clarify this passion. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, Queen of Pentacles is someone who's prosperous. She's a great soul. She enjoys life and wealth. She's down to earth. I think you guys got this before, or somebody who was a Gemini did in a personal reading. Basically, you're insecure. You don't feel free. You don't feel generous. Just being a little careless. Somebody's really suspicious and tricky. So if somebody was unfaithful regarding passion, somebody's very suspicious now. And loyalty is going to have to be earned back. Something just is kind of evil, fearful. There's mistrust going on. Somebody could be a workaholic, but that would be more for the finances. Yeah, there's a lot of mistrust going on. Okay, let's do the finances and career clarification. 7 of Wands, upright. So this tells me, you'd be trying to hold back some kind of financial disaster. Very defensive. We do have the 3 of Cups, and it came after the 3 of Cups was laid out. So there could be some kind of an accident by fire, and that affects your finances. That could be why you might be moving homes. I see that a little bit in here. But basically, you're fantasizing about giving up, but keep pushing because you're close, okay? Be assertive, persevere. Any efforts you've done in the past are going to help you succeed. Don't relax just yet, okay? And you don't have the Hierophant in your reading anywhere. So with the 7 of Wands, if you don't have the Hierophant, it means you're not getting a marriage proposal and a female is not getting their wish. Overall, we got the Ace of Cups upright, and that's good. This is going to be your last card that's going to talk about either your outcome or your overall idea of your reading. Because there's some different things here. You're just going to have to pick out what you can, okay? With the Ace of Cups upright, it talks about a new relationship, not an old one. Happiness, fertility, so you could get pregnant. Like happiness is like right in front of you, okay? It's coming. And you're just going to be overwhelmed with happy emotions. You're ready to receive love, at least in the outcome. You'll be on the right path. You're just going to get a love offer. And sometimes this talks about reconciliation. You may reconcile with someone, and then the relationship will continue. I'm not sure if that's going to be good or bad, but have hope for those of you who want to reconcile, those of you who want a new love, and those of you who want to get pregnant, which is what this whole reading seems to be about. Somebody is going to come along. I think they're going to be new. I don't think it's reconciliation. Maybe you reconcile with yourself something that's going on, and it kind of fixes things for you. So you're able to get pregnant. You're able to find that love that you want. Okay. All right, Geminis. I hope you enjoyed your reading for 19. My advice is to be happy.